Now that the Fool's Chronicle are back from college, all of our spaces are different, and
it's all so
Not
strange.
all
for
of our
yourself.
spaces. Not all of our spaces.
okay,
exactly
except for you.
one of us is in the same space.
I go to budget school, so I get to stay at home.
I'm going to budget school. I get to stay at home. I am in a much quieter room, so actually
I'm
things
also
are
in a
easier
much
for me.
quieter
Statistically, this should be much quieter
Yeah,
because no
this
one
is
is
nice.
home.
I am now in a room with controllable AC units.
Ooh.
The problem, though, is that now you do share a shower
With
with
approximately everyone, yeah.
Yeah. And, like, my problem really is I can't actually be in a shower where someone else is DJing for me.
Yeah, it's bad.
I like to be the mix master of my own
It's
shower.
so bad.
This is the Fool's Chronicle Talkback, episode 9 for episode 9 by the Fool's Chronicle for the Ashes. I'm Sean Tumbokenflowers, your GM.
That was the worst intro I've ever heard. I'm Olivia Manning. I play Ivanka Dove.
I'm Dylan Manning. I play Mirai, the Storm Cardera.
I'm Ren French, and I play Orlan Wright.
And... God, I'm sick.
We're ill.
And I'm so
Sean and I are
sick.
both ill for separate reasons.
I gave Olivia my sickness.
Sean and I, we have to stop saying that. It's so bad for the optics.
Listeners, you gotta understand, they're so fucking over. I'm so fucking
We're
back.
so fucking
It
over.
is what it is.
It's okay, final season is done for the Fool's Chronicle, so we're back
Thank
on top.
fuck.
Final? Y'all had
Ren, I'm gonna kick you out of this podcast. Shut the fuck up.
It's,
fuck up.
it's
Shut the
literally,
fuck up.
I'm coming for you. I'm in your
cannot
walls.
I'm in your
express.
walls
I'm-
right now.
I'm in your walls. I'm on your fucking ceiling.
Brother, my lowest
Look
grade
behind
was a
you.
90% this semester. We're winning. We're going crazy.
We're winning!
Dylan has left our call.
What the call?
Look at what you did.
Look at what you did.
We can't
Dylan, I'm so
podcast in
sorry.
these conditions.
Ren is making a hostile workplace. Some of us.
Already? Oh my god. This has never happened this early.
Welcome to Olivia's Music Corner. Where I'm Olivia Manning and I bang out the tunes. This one was a fun one for music because I got to do 3 entirely new sort of musical atmospheres, because usually it's kind of just like I take from other shit, but this was kind of all new stuff.
Fun is such a strong word to use, I feel like, because I feel like whenever I'm like, we need new music that you've never made before, you're like, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you.
But it's fun.
I'm
in
killing
the
you with my
end.
mind.
Yeah, I'm like killing you with my mind lasers, but like while I'm doing it, I'm like, this is actually kind of fun. Because we started with the intro, which was really fun. Sometimes I do this thing where I go, this music is way too intense for this particular moment. Let's do it anyway. Like, that intro that I wrote for this episode goes fucking insane for no reason. No reason, but I was like, let's make it the coolest piece of music this podcast has ever seen. I just layered it a lot, which I don't usually do a lot, because I usually don't get the option to, because it's under, like, real conversations where you need to hear every word. But, like, you were just kind of doing imagery, and I was like, yippee, I get to do things, which was fun.
And I think what might have contributed to this, like, the baller songs in this is maybe the fact that I got you the music.
Yeah, that you actually gave me ample time to do the music, yeah.
Yeah, like, what, I would say like a week before?
More than a week for sure.
More.
Which was very
'cause-
delicious.
Yeah, like, coming into the last few episodes,
It's
I feel
been
like I
so
keep getting
Jover.
into, like,
It's been
yeah,
so
it's
Jover,
been
dude.
like end of semester, like stress and panic, and like I'm like, Olivia, I can get you this episode like 3 days before it goes
Figure
up.
it out, bitch.
I get you
And I
the
was like,
episode an hour before the episode goes up. Like,
But we did
and
it
you're
this
like,
time.
the tunes. Yeah,
The tunes have been banged.
The
But
Fool's
I had
Chronicle's
it
lives
time.
are in shambles, and
It's
it's a miracle that we're still going.
yeah.
But, okay, what are the other music? I wrote the thing for Melosi's Tale, which was fun, because that got to be, like, very different sound-wise from everything else, because it needed to sound, like, older, and not older in, like, a rickety, broken-apart way, which was a lot of the music in this podcast, but it's, like, older in, like, the good old days way, which was very fun.
Right.
And then I got to write the thing
Very
at the end
beautiful.
about the... Yeah, very, very, very kind of fun and just, like, peaceful, which was nice. That's probably some of the most video game music I've made. in terms of like sounding like ambient video game noise. And then there was the stuff at the end, which is really fun and deeply Hadestown inspired, with all that like sort of deep staccato piano happening and like big old grand minor chords that sort of punch, just like big punchy like factory noises. And I'm really excited to develop that more.
Yeah, we're going to play with that theme a lot more coming up soon.
Hell yeah, brother.
Usually we can say the names, like our behind-the-scenes working names of our music pieces, but that one is like super spoilers, so...
Yeah, so...
You just have to see.
You're just gonna have to see.
Yep.
That's all for Olivia's Music Corner.
I got to talk in Olivia's Music Corner. That never happens.
Olivia, can you bring us through the episode today? We were going to do that timeline kind of sequential style again.
So... Your intro, which was just a monologue of Sean talking and nobody cares
Whatever.
about that and we can just skip past it since probably nobody even listened to it.
I sure didn't.
Because they only listen
Yeah.
once they hear Dylan's beautiful, beautiful voice. So let's just skip ahead
Yeah,
to
like
that.
no one cares about all the work and
all the
time
terrible,
I put into
terrible
the,
work that Sean put
you
into
know, how much like time I spend
sleepless
on the
nights.
imagery of the introductions, and no, I actually had a lot of fun writing this one.
Sean,
because we gave you approximately a calendar year.
I do want to point out the alliteration that you did, because you made mention of it and how proud you were, and I feel it needs to be brought up. It was very well written, and it's hard to really appreciate that when it was spoken out loud. But as much as I love ragging on Sean, I do have to give him props for this.
It was pretty
at
good.
least.
The dubs come through.
You get this one.
Dubs. The rare Sean W in the
Very
talkback.
unbelievably rare Sean W.
I'm not gonna lie, I started listening to the episode because I had to for the talkback, and I forgot until like an hour before the talkback. I fully zoned out during Sean's part.
You were like, who cares? Who cares?
Cool.
Skip. But anyway, after
One
that...
time in middle school, someone looked me dead in the eye and said, "You have a really good background voice."
And now he's a
I
podcaster.
never forgot that.
And now he's a podcaster.
And now I'm a podcaster. Like,
So, like, amen.
I never forgot that. That was
So,
such a cutting thing to say
how
to me. I was
biting.
like, and I was talking to them too. I was talking to them. They
They're
were
like,
"You
you
have
know,
a really
I'm
good
listening to you,
background
and I'm just
voice."
not, like, nothing is coming through.
Nothing's-
Kind of a
But it sounds great.
I've heard Sean tell this story like 20 million times.
Because he's never forgotten it. It's the most biting thing that's ever been said to him.
Whatever. It's fine. Now people tell me I have a good radio voice.
After the intro, which everyone either didn't listen to or loved dearly, Orlan talked to his buddy, his father?
Please, my dad.
Please,
My
your
boat
dad. Your boat dad?
Your boat, Dad.
Talk about your boat dad.
Clarification: he is not my actual father.
No, but he could be. He's the oldest man in Dustfall.
So here's the thing I want to talk about with this. Handy listeners will notice that, I've zoomed in on one of the characters to the start of each arc. And we did Dove, we did Storm, and this one's Orlan. And I very much enjoyed writing Orlan's mentor and spending some time. We talked about this. Can we talk about our behind the scenes talks?
Mm-hmm. I was
you came to me.
a pain in Sean's ass. I was constantly messaging him like, "Hey Sean, can we, talk? I want to. Are you free to hop on a call? I want to discuss." And we went back and forth. The big conversation I remember, I was driving because I'm always driving.
God.
And I remember asking him, I don't know where to take Orlan, right? We've done our zoom in on Dove and on Storm, but I don't have a whole lot. We haven't done a whole lot with Orlan. I don't know what he's all about. And Sean asked me a few clarifying questions, stuff like, what are his motivations? Where does he come from? And
Who's his dad?
Who's his dad, maybe?
Sean asked me what his motivations were, and I took a second, I sat back, and I went, in this last score, Orlan has gotten closer to these people who he may not consider family, but something pretty close to it, just because they've taken him in and have paid him and have been kind-ish to him.
In the same way we're kind to you, Ren.
Exactly. I said to him, I was there when Storm was supernaturally terrified by an entity that I summoned without realizing the harm it would bring to others. And I took that and I was like, Orlan has always been on his own. He's always worked solo. He's never had to worry about the repercussions of causing collateral damage. And now that he's working with a team, he super has to worry about that. And with this brash, bold, young kid that he's running around with, he's terrified he is going to end up bringing about her downfall.
And this is the beautiful part about our crew. Like, the people that I brought in for this campaign, like, you beautiful people.
We're masochists.
Mm-hmm. You're masochists. It's amazing. You are like you make characters and then you're like Orlan before this point, if you're, listening in, does not really have these motivations of like, I'm working with people now, like all this. Orlan was kind of very loose, very silly character. And now we're going to feel this shift. Orlan becoming responsible, and it's so beautiful because you guys will make characters that are like gerbils and following the golden thread to their gruesome and odd ends.
Literally, Sean will be like, here's a decision. If you do this thing, you might die tragically, and also everyone you love. And we'll be like, boom, we're like pressing the button like 8 million times.
That's it. That's the end I was working towards. Perfect. And so, like, we had the conversation, and I was like, what is Orlan working for? Like, all this, like, what is his motivations? And Ren, the answers were beautiful.
Ren was like,
and
what if he has a cringe fail girl son now? And Sean was like, absolutely, yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I need all of that. And the conversation between Leopold and Orlan, I loved.
I fucking love
prepping
Leopold, man.
for it. Oh, God. It was really fun. Because we made that character together.
Yeah. When I remember when we were recording, when you went over and you were like, the spirit mask he's holding is your old one. In the recording, I was like, no.
I think everyone was like open mouth, like, oh my God. Yeah. It was just really fun.
We are first and foremost fans of this show.
It's so
like,
real.
As we're recording, we're like, oh my God. It's like a live watch, but we're doing it and we're also live watching it. It's awful.
We should eventually, like, record our cameras' reactions.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I need to get a better webcam
eventually
first.
we're going to have the Twitch live stream of the podcast, which then gets edited down to be the released podcast.
God.
And then we do the talkbacks.
Hey, Dylan, you say that, but it wouldn't be
And then we
difficult.
do the talkbacks for the talkbacks.
I mean,
Yeah,
yes,
well,
adding a Twitch live stream of us
after I
recording
get a
it
suite of
would
editors.
be the easiest thing, except for the fact that we have to set it up and do it.
We've ever done.
It's easier than
Yeah.
any
It'd
of the
also
other
be
things you
miserable
make
to
Sean
listen
do.
to.
Oh, yeah.
I would
I
like
get to
also
listen to the
mention-
extra hour of us discussing what we want to do next.
Of me arguing with Sean. And then also arguing with everyone else.
In every episode, there's like 20 minutes cut out. I
Where we're
promise
just
you.
like,
There's like 20 minutes cut out. And it's the worst 20 minutes of your life. Like you might think like, oh, I want to listen to the extra content. You don't.
You don't.
You know,
don't.
every
It's
time,
awful.
you know,
It's
every
not good.
time, like, we get annoyed at Sean for being like, all right, it's time, make a decision now. First of all, normally he's cut out like at least 5 minutes of us hemming and hawing before that. And also, that's because he's played with us long enough to know that without that, we're going to do 10 more minutes of hemming and hawing and
Exactly.
not reach a decision.
Speaking of 10 minutes of hemming and hawing, right after Orlan talked to his boat dad, we went to talk to Lord Strangford and had like a full 5-minute dialogue in the carriage about whether to tell him we were at war or not. Which is...
We shouldn't, why would we tell him? Why would we tell him? What's the point?
Because this is such a huge thing of, like, I felt like it was so integral to, like, showing how this crew functions, because if Ivanka Dove is one thing, she is ambitious, but if she is another thing, she's an ambitious coward. If there's one thing she's gonna do, it's she's gonna try to be in trouble for as little as possible, even if that means giving up a little bit of her dignity. And the problem is that Storm is the opposite of that.
If there's one thing that Storm is, they are ambitious. If there's another thing that Storm is, they are headstrong.
They ain't no bitch.
They are headstrong and proud.
If you couldn't tell, we all poured a lot of ourselves into our characters.
What?
The problem is that I am such a little bitch that I'm just like, oh, but what if we just fixed it as soon as possible? What if we just pulled a little bit of strings?
Speaking of fixing it as soon as possible, so we say in the episode, like, it was a long time between the two sessions, between the two arcs, just
I
because
had nightmares.
problems and life and whatever. But there is a genuine, like, I think, well, apparently Ren forgot we were at war, but Olivia and I were going into this like, okay, we gotta fix this war somehow. We don't know what that means, so we're gonna kind of help. Sean will help us figure it out, and then Sean's like, what if you do a different thing? A different unrelated thing.
What if you do a different war?
So, like, keep in mind that the entire episode, we're at war. Also, that is what I am thinking about the entire time, at least.
It's what I'm actively throwing up about during the entire episode.
Here's what's really funny, is in my prep for this session, this is like such a peek behind the curtain right now, I actually had it set, so I was like, well, all this is going on, I'll throw my crew a bone, like, because, like, Tier 0 is such a tough time to be at war with, like, a really strong gang.
Christ.
They're Tier 2, right?
And, yeah, they're, like, Tier 2, you're like Tier 0. I was like, let me help them out. What's something good here? Well, let's say Irmina heard about this war and vetted them to come over to Strangford, and Strangford can help them. And then immediately you guys went, we can't tell Strangford.
Which is crazy.
We can't tell Strangford. And I went, well, if they really don't want to tell Strangford, it'd be really weird for me to try and railroad them back in.
To tell Strangford, yeah.
Yes, because that was my original prep, but I was like, let's let them play it out.
So basically, I was right.
Okay, so point one is fuck you, Olivia. Point two...
So, in our desire to hold on to our dignity, we took an extra full episode of stuff.
I had assumed that, like, if Strangford were gonna help us in the war, he would know about it already and approach us and be like, you guys fucked up, huh? Like, if
he's not Lady Drake. He's not a fucking asshole.
He's Strangford. He is a fucking asshole. He's just not a fucking bitch.
Real.
God, I hate Lady Drake.
There's like an asshole bitch cunt, like, triangle.
Did we talk about this last episode?
And Lady Drake is in the dead center.
Is in the dead fucking center. Everybody in Dustfall is on the asshole bitch cunt triangle. Like, it's so...
Strangford is full asshole. Lady Drake is dead center. Irmina full cunt.
Full cunt.
And she served it.
And she serves it.
No, I was literally going to say Debonair is full cunt, in parentheses, serving.
Debonair is also full cunt. Anyway, so after that, we got our mission, which is to kill this little bitch boy. We don't really get into it very much because we do nothing in this episode.
Hey, I feel very connected to this episode.
Exactly. So, here's the one thing that we did. Storm, would you like to talk about your beautiful dad and your beautiful drinking game and your beautiful talk with the man with no arm?
He had an arm.
In that order?
He has an arm. It's just chemically burned.
So first of all, I love not to go in the exact opposite order. Actually, I love that Ren or Orlan goes to Storm's like, "Be careful, don't lose a hand," and then I go.
I literally heard that and fucking laughed while I listened to the episode. I was like, "No fucking way!"
You said that, and
The
you were laughing.
Foreshadowing.
It's so funny.
I was so upset. Not like upset, but like me as a player playing a character who is now very much aware of the mortality of his friends. I was very he like
being like, "Hey, don't lose a hand." Guess what this guy literally did?
And now I'm gonna go ask for his job.
Yeah,
it's so beautiful. It mirrors life in the way that Orlan's like, I'm an old man. I want to make sure you're safe. Like, be safe out there. And Storm's like, I am immortal. I am young, so I am God. Like,
I am going to get employment.
But
he's not. I'm not trapped in that factory with him. He's trapped in that factory with me.
Olivia, you just summed up the next, I think, 3 episodes.
Literally.
Anyway, so yes, my beautiful dad that I love so much. I'm gonna start with I love my dad.
Everyone loves. There's a moment where we all just go Storm, Dad, Storm, Dad, Storm, Dad.
I'm 90% sure I cut that down.
I think so.
It was
Yeah.
definitely
more
longer. We were
cheering.
definitely just like forever. We were like, yeah.
I just think that one of the characters should have a beautiful relationship with their
I
parents.
love my beautiful city.
I love my beautiful city.
I
and
love my beautiful parents, and I love my beautiful
Your beautiful district.
But nobody can know about
But
it.
nobody can know about
okay,
it.
so I did a lot of prep because you're gonna hear me say this like so many times in the next few episodes because I had so much time to prep. I did a lot of prep on Char Hollow and wanting to make like it feel like Severosi heritage was kind of alive in Char Hollow. And so I made Nogs as a, place that we can kind of come back to. That's the centerpiece of the Severosi in Char Hollow.
love Nogs.
And I just thought it'd be really fun. And
it was.
And so when Storm was like, I want to go check this out, I was like, I knew
Your
you
beautiful
would.
city. Your beautiful city.
I knew you would go back there, so...
I will relish
and
in
I
literally
just-
any chance to have Mirai go back to Char Hollow and, deal with the, conflicting
Get to be a
natures.
normal person?
Well, not even just get to be... Yes, but also just, deal in the conflicting natures of, their secret drives that they don't want anyone there to know about, but also the fact that they have to go here and they don't want any of the Ashes to know about that, and I love Char Hollow. I love my beautiful district.
Like a gerbil.
You're like a gerbil.
Following the gossamer thread to your inevitable tragedy.
God. We built these traps ourselves.
Because they're so pretty.
They're so pretty. They're such pretty little
Before
traps.
you
I want to talk about the scene between Talker and Storm.
I love my beautiful
it's
boy.
one of
I
the
love my beautiful
most-
boy.
What a beautiful boy. Is he also Severosi?
Yes.
Okay, I did not know that. I don't think you mentioned that. But
It's kind of implied as like a community.
Just a fun
the
fact
scene
about
is
him.
so
Thing.
funny because it's so reflective of just how Dylan and Sean roleplay with each other, in that they'll both be like, oh, I get it, I get where you're going, and then both of them are both wrong all the time. It's so funny because Sean thinks there's a part in the scene that Sean thinks
I try and think all the
Sean
time.
thinks that Dylan is working up to Storm revealing that he's in a gang, which is not at all what Dylan was going
The
for.
dead
But Sean was
opposite.
like, I get it. Let me catch this apple as it falls. But it was not an apple. It was a pear. And it was it wasn't even it was. Dylan was like, no.
I was throwing up a pear, and Sean went, this apple is falling right now.
I'll catch this apple. This is great.
But
I love
'Cause-
apples.
Storm, are you in a gang? What the fuck are you talking about?
there's actually, I was listening to that scene, and I'd already heard Olivia, I think, making fun of me for the dialogue there, which is fair. And there's something there's this moment where Talker's like, Storm, are you in a gangs?
Would not call him Storm.
Sorry.
Mirai.
Are you in a gang?
Are you in a gang?
And I go, that's not what we're talking about.
Literally, you do not say no, which is so
There's
funny.
such a fun, I'm listening to it, and I'm sitting here with things that I know about myself, which is that I, Dylan Manning, hate lying. I don't like lying to people, except for when I do, but we're not going to talk about that right now. But,
Keep it 99.
I don't like genuinely lying to people, which is so funny for me to, slip into Mirai, because Mirai lies all the time.
Lies
it's, a huge thing for
all
them.
the time.
They lie all
Fucking
the
all the-
time. So,
Are you in a gang, Mirai?
I'm talking about.
I played the
Let's change the subject.
Let's change
the subject.
It's literally, it was such a silly.
It was such a fail from both ends. It's so funny.
let me set this ball so you can spike it, and you're like, let me set it for you so you can. What's happening?
And then you both miss the ball. There are two wheels, and you both miss both balls.
We're both like holding the ball above the net.
Yeah,
barely,
together.
It's like barely over.
One hand setting it, the other hand holding the other person's hands. It's beautiful, but also
hand
terrible.
Punching the other person in the face.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it's me.
And I'm on the bleachers with popcorn.
But like,
Yeah. And what about the third hand? That's when Jesus punched your ass in the face.
But like, okay, so aside from the terrible dialogue that I hate myself for, I do love the scene with Talker because I think, once again, it's a really good moment to show that, like, dual drive. And on the one hand, they love their beautiful community. They are genuinely, they want to make sure this kid is okay. They want to know that he's, like, you know, they want him to not feel hopeless. They want him to feel okay and, like, feel safe, be recovering, all that stuff. But also, they super have a job to do, and it's important to them that this gang does well, and they're making money, and they're doing all their shit. So,
yes,
there's a lot of moments where I catch myself spending too long going, give me a job, help my gang, and I go, all right, this is a person that I care about. Are you okay?
Can we also talk about, I feel like we skipped past it, how funny it is that we were so hopeless and lost that we were like, Storm, what if you just got a job? I think it's, we were like, Storm, how do you feel about employment? I mean, like, genuine, how do you feel about W-2 forms? And like,
well, first of all, that's assuming Storm
SSN
does taxes.
in Dusk Bowl, or?
Real.
But like, yeah, I feel like what other plan would we have? There are plenty of other plans we could have, but what other plan would we as a group come up with?
Apart from, because this is also a thing that I do.
Because I prep so much for these sessions, and I have so many leading threads. There's an alternate version of this where you guys investigate totally different things and find totally different ways into the factory.
Or where we go to his house, because we don't need the extra coin. There's not a line where we do that. We were always going to go to the factory.
We were always going to
We literally, Sean said, you could also just kill him at his house, and we all collectively went, nah.
Fuck that shit.
No.
We all collectively went, let's go to this Dishonored level. Can we talk about that, Sean?
We have to
Yeah, I
talk
was
about
gonna
the Dishonored
bring it
level.
up.
We
Can we
have
talk
to.
about the Dishonored level, Sean? It's so funny. Like, the reveal of it was so genuine. Like, we did not know he was doing this. We started ragging on him, and he was like, we were like, this is a lot like a Dishonored level, and he was like, if you would all check your, if you would all check your Roll20 documents.
We've talked about this in past episodes, that we're all huge Dishonored fans.
Just major Dishonored fans.
We've played it a lot. We've played it a lot.
At this actual point in time, 2 of us on this podcast are replaying Dishonored games.
I need to actually get around to
replaying,
D2.
It's not oh wait, no, I did finish the game twice. I guess it technically is
You did
replaying.
finish the game. Oh my god.
I'm in my main...
3 people. We just revealed to ourselves that 3 people are replaying Dishonored games.
As we fucking speak.
But that aside.
Anyway, we're all huge Dishonored fans. So, like, someone said, like, wait, first of all, we constantly behind the scenes are going, the Leviathan blood, and talking about the whale hunting and Dishonored and all that shit. Blood. So then, when Sean is like, yes, there's this whale blood processing factory, and you have to kill the guy in the factory. And we go, we were like in the Knife of Dunwall? Like, the first level in
and
the
you
Knife
could
of Dunwall?
see Sean, God, I wish you could see our cameras, because we start making fun of him for it, and you can see the light, like, leave his eyes. It's like, it's so... Because
we thought it was coincidental.
He spins the fucking tapestry, we don't know.
Yeah, I personally thought it was an actual location in lore.
I will give Sean a brief respite. I will give Sean a brief respite in that it says up front in the Blades in the Dark,
like Dishonored is a huge inspiration
for Blades in the Dark.
Just major touchstone. So like that's why we're doing it.
A lot of the shit is very similar, and we make fun of it because it is very similar. It was made to be very similar. Also, Sean's a fucking idiot, and he does wild shit.
Do you guys know
like,
that
take a
story of
direct
that
screen
guy
cap.
who like got lost in Italy but was able to like lead his travel group around because he like knew the map from Assassin's Creed? We're that, but with every Dishonored. Like, if you put me in a random city, no way. You put me in Kieran Jindosh's Clockwork Mansion, I'm getting us out of there. You tell my mom I'll be home for dinner.
Karnaka, my Karnaka, I will get us home.
You put me in the streets of Dunwall, I can find you any shop.
I can break into any safe you give me.
Oh my god. It's like our mind palace, truly.
It's literally
it really is.
It was
Dishonored.
a good idea on because like he showed us the map and we were like,
oh, we know what's going on here.
Let's get in there, brother.
Yeah, I don't think I ever checked the map after the first time opening it because
we were just
I achievement hunted Knife of Dunwall, so I've played that
palaces.
level I think 4 or 5 times.
Guys, I'm so close to 100%ing Dishonored, but I just can't do the Dunwall trials. I just can't.
The Dunwall trials are a nightmare.
This
is fully
actually,
separate.
So,
we have to end the episode.
But the thing is, so I should actually just like put you in more Dishonored levels.
Real.
I mean,
would
like,
not be against it.
First of all, we would make fun of you endlessly. Second of all, none of us would be against it.
No, I mean, it's fun
just
as hell.
fun.
Once we get past the initial,
we love Dishonored.
Razzing of you.
We love Dishonored.
We love Dishonored. Who's the name of the guy that made Dishonored? I think his name's Harvey something.
I don't know.
I know Daniel Litch does the music.
I'm Googling it. Dishonored maker.
If you can...
Daniel Dishonored.
If you can let us rob Dr. Galvani...
Please? Harvey Smith. His name is Harvey Smith.
Harvey Smith.
Hello, Harvey Smith. We love you. We appreciate you. We are not stealing your RP. We're giving you everyone kiss your mics gently. Mwah. Mwah.
Thank you to Dishonored for making our podcast what it is. Thank you, patrons, for listening to The Fool's Chronicle, from The Fool's Chronicle, by The Fool's Chronicle Talkback, a Dishonored fan cast.
What are we doing?
This has been an episode.
I hope you guys can tell how much we love this arc and we love this episode and we love...
God, there's so much cool shit that we can't even talk about.
Next episode is going to be crazy.
All I'll say is the next few talkbacks are going to be going fucking insane.
We're just going to be screaming.
It's going to be
yeah.
We might have to extend the length of the talkbacks.
Yeah, honestly. You can cut this, Sean, but I want to say this for the fellow fools. I, honest to God, forgot what our most recent arc was because I only care about this one.
Yes.
Crazy and real, though.
This arc is so
anyway, this is The Fool's Chronicle, by the Fools, for the Fools. Dishonored fan cast.
Dishonored fan cast. It has been an episode. Talk shit, get hit. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.